Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening, boys and girls. Nice of you to tune in.
Yep.
We have the Bill Crane Report on the air with my friend Dwayne Weiss.
Like it or not, we're back.
That's it, just like Freddy Krueger.
Yep.
Out of the grave and back again. Well, I had some things planned, so we're going to change the plan a little bit here.
Sounds like a winner.
I'm going to just go off the script for just a second. Watching Fox Financial this morning.
Okay.
And there's a young fellow they have on, one of the contributors. You know, they come on for 90 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever. And he's very articulate, smart. He's about 27 or so, but he's a minority. And of course, he's quite a popular young man on the show. But this morning, he was way off the reservation. He was, the stock market was down considerably this morning.
200 points last I saw.
Yeah, it started off down like almost 500 points.
Ooh, good thing I didn't see it then.
Yeah, and it's all got to do with the president speaking harshly to the Chinese that was screwed around long enough.
That scares everybody.
So this kid come on and he said, the negotiations have been going on too long. And this is stupid. And everybody in the U.S. should be frustrated with how long this has taken. I said to myself, I wish I was Stuart Varney and could explain to him that we have the biggest capitalist country in the world, a free country negotiating for a total change in the way we do business with a communist country that is a military dictatorship with totally different values than we have.
Oh, absolutely. They control everything, though.
Yes.
If one factor's down, they just put a government subsidy on it.
Bango. Yeah. And the fact that we are negotiating and have come this far in just 18 months is a bloody miracle. No one has been able to talk to the Chinese. Now, this guy on this morning. So anyway, this kid is just youth. He just didn't know what the hell he was talking about. So they had this guy on this morning who's one of the China experts. He's been dealing in China for 50 years. His name is Pillsbury. And he said, everybody was saying, oh, this is a disaster. Oh, the president, this morning come on too strong and all that. Pillsbury come on and he said, this is a good sign. This is a very good sign. He said, the president is telling it like it is. And he said, the Chinese need to be spoken to in that language. If you don't stick up for yourself, they think they've got a pansy on their hands.
They'll walk all over you.
That's exactly
right. They have
right.
for years.
And they've been pulling these stalling tactics because they gave away too much in the beginning of the negotiations. Yeah. And all of a sudden now they regret some of the things. So they want to renegotiate.
Absolutely. We were afraid to speak up on a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
I'm not sure why that got to be that way, but we did so much business with them that we were afraid we were going to lose that favored status. They weren't going to give us the best prices. They weren't going to give us this. They weren't going to give us that. We didn't need to do that.
No, we gave the stir away way ahead of time.
They were making more off us than we were getting back from them.
Well, exactly. I mean, the trade imbalance is obscene. And also, we all have this mysterious man of the Orient idea that these people are really deep people and you just can't outsmart them.
Today, it's right here.
You better believe it is.
Yep.
And what do they also understand? That baby right there.
Yep. Yeah, China's very, very, very conscious about their GNP, their growth, their prosperity, because now they've got a middle class. Years ago, they had a few on the top and everybody else was on the bottom.
Peasants.
And whatever the top said went. Now they've got an independent middle class that got used to cars and TVs and nice houses and vacations and all that.
Computers and you name it.
That's the danger part right there. If they're not happy, they're a danger to the party.
You know, right now, the stock market is down approximately 1%.
Mm-hmm.
In China, it's down 7%.
Yeah, they've been.
Yeah, today they took
rocked.
it right on the chin, and they're not going to be able to withstand that too much longer.
No.
But you also got to give them a little wiggle room so they can say,
There's always got to get a little of them save face.
I got to be able to pull a chestnut or two out of the fire. So what do? Like in softball, you lob them one over the plate and let them hit it.
Yeah, to be embarrassed in China or in Asia is a very serious thing.
Well, yeah.
You lose face, you lose everything.
Absolutely. And the same thing in this country with family.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, if you dishonor the family, yippee, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So, folks, the president talked tough this morning to China, and guess who supported him? Chuck Schumer.
Schumer?
Schumer came, he sent him a tweet to President Trump. Hang tough on China. Don't back down. Chuck Schumer.
Pelosi must have wrote it for him.
Well, she's also tough on China.
Yeah.
Now, her husband, now guess what he does?
I don't know.
He's a international trader. Guess where his accounts are?
Probably the East.
China?
China, yeah.
Yeah, so he's, and of course they're multimillionaires.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
they
they have
always-
money they hadn't counted.
The 1%. We have to. They shouldn't have what they do. They're out too much control. They are the 1%. That Elizabeth Warren always talking about 1%. She's part of the 1%. Bernie Sanders is part of the 1%. Don't believe this, folks, when you say, well, it's just us poor people, our working people. Those people that you see on TV are not regular working people. They are the elite. They are the 1%.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Remember how Bernie Sanders got mad and somebody pointed out that he was too millionaire himself?
Yeah.
Well, if you wrote a best-selling book, then you could be a millionaire. And you change the subject right away.
Yeah, yeah. And if your name was Bernie Sanders, it would sell. But otherwise, if it wasn't Bernie Sanders, if Bernie Sanders was Bernie Schwartz and wrote that book,
nobody would have touched
11 copies would have been sold. I would have bought one, of course.
I know, 10 and you.
Yeah. So, folks, in my frustration, I was sitting thinking about all the things. The Democrats are so mad they can't see straight. Time Magazine had a wonderful cover article on the president and the Mueller report. And they said, guess what? The president is the big winner. The president has survived this and is on top. He's got every right in the world to crow about it. And the Democrats are whining.
They're beside themselves. They want something so bad to happen.
Yep.
But it didn't happen.
So, I've written a list of things for the Democrats. So this is to the Democrats and their fellow travelers from the Bill Crane report. Accept the Mueller report and grow up. And more importantly, pitch in with making America great again and accept your role as loyal opposition and start cooperating on the important issues / problems that face our nation.
Right now, nothing's getting done. It's just anti-Trump. That's all you see.
And I've made a list.
Yep.
And Dwayne, I'm going to read you the list, and I want you to tell me about whether I'm in the ballpark, off in left field, and make any comments you want
go ahead.
on this list. Number one, and this is in no particular order. In fact, towards the end, I remembered something I forgot about that should have been up near the top. So
How
No
much
particular
coffee
order.
had you had when you made this
Oh,
list?
this was my second cup.
Oh, okay. Pretty good for 2 cups.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number one, in no particular order, immigration and border protection. Without borders, we don't have a country.
No, you're not a country if you don't have a border. It's
How much longer are we going to kick this can downstream?
until it has no more political advantage. That's the only reason the Democrats are taking that side that let everybody in, because it generates votes. When it no longer becomes a vote getter and it becomes so detrimental that they can't afford to do it, that'll stop.
So, we say to them, okay, here's our first suggestion, all right? That anyone that has come to this country illegally, if you want him to stay, he can stay. But there is no path to citizenship for him or his children.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at that point in time, the Democrats would then walk out,
Yeah.
because that is what this is all about. You're absolutely right. Votes. If you took that avenue away,
Oh, absolutely. You take that
That's
incentive.
it.
That's
They're
the whole
all
point.
done.
Yep.
now that doesn't mean they'd cooperate.
No.
No, but they would run off and hide. The strengthening of the economy, that is a story in itself that, man, that's better than Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah. Again, it's a sore subject with the Democrat side. And they don't want to see the economy doing well because it looks bad for them and it looks good for Trump. It's simply a matter of, again, Trump does bad, we're happy.
Did you catch any of the Sunday morning talk shows?
No.
Usually they're about as nauseating as they can be. Open wide, Senator. Here's some pablum for
Yeah,
you.
oh, yeah.
You know. Yeah. So on the talk shows, the Democrats have a new talking piece.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Brand new. And it's funny, they all have the same story to tell Sunday.
I think those talking points are passed out at some
Oh,
point.
you think?
I think so.
Because there's collusion?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Well, the talking point was Trump had nothing to do with this economy. It started with the Obama administration.
We've heard that so many times.
They
It's
rolled
getting
it out
old.
again.
It's getting old.
Man, if that thing was a banana, it would be brown. It'd be so
absolutely.
rotten. It is. I mean, we were. No, I won't say we were on death's doorstep, but man, we had knocked on our keister with that recession.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And guess who was at the helm and running the ship? Yeah. Well, anyway, now he's the savior. There's something stuck in my thumb. Every once in a while I feel it. Oh, well. That's just a little aside, folks. Trying to get some
Joys of old age. That's what
trying to
that
get
is.
some sympathy. Not going to get any here. So, here's something else that I think we could probably concentrate on rather than crying and moaning and groaning about the Mueller report. How about foreign policy? How about China, Russia, North Korea, Iran? How about taking those babies on? We get problems in all 4 of those places.
Yep. We do.
I think Iran is probably the most serious of the bunch, short term.
Yeah. They've got they're actually a powerful country.
Yeah.
They don't have a outstanding military that you think of, but they've got a lot of influence in the Mideast.
They're a ruthless people.
Oh, yeah.
And also very well educated. They always have been the best educated
absolutely.
people in the Middle East,
Yeah.
and they've got a very restive middle class.
Well, they got an unemployment rate that's 30 or 40%.
Well, now with the sanctions in place,
Yeah.
And the flow of oil stopping, they've got a crisis on their hands, and now they're getting very bellicose.
Plus, they've got a young population that's very restless.
Exactly. And when you get young people out in the street, well, now you got a problem. And now it's spring. It's springtime. So guess what? The kids are going to be out there.
That's right.
Let's hope that we're smart enough to support them, the kids. We've taken hands off of Iran. I got to believe we're smart enough to help them somehow. Doing what, I'm not sure. But North Korea, the buffoon is rattling his cage. He wants to be fed again.
It's hard to explain. I just saw a couple of things on National Geographic over the weekend again. I've seen them before. One was with Palin, and another one with, her name is Singh, her last number. She's a journalist, and her sister got kidnapped while they were over there, and she's really good. And she is very, very good. Palin from BBC.
Okay.
He's kind of wishy-washy with him. She was sort of undercover with a doctor from Nepal. He was an ophthalmologist doing eye surgeries there, and it's disgusting seeing what the conditions really were. And they didn't know who she was, but she's reporting on a lot of things that the miners didn't want her to see.
Of course.
And it's going to be a hard country to change because almost everybody there believes they exist because of the three great leaders that they had. And if it wasn't for them, their country would be gone. And
exactly.
No matter what fairy tale they fed them, they believe it because they
believe
grew up with it. It's been 70 years now.
The history of gods.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been 70 years. They get no other outside information. That's all they are. They're always fed the same thing over and over. And sometime they could understand. And it's going to be a very hard change.
Going to be. But you know what? If you feed them and clothe them, you're halfway there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so much depends on the South Koreans, because when and if the breakthrough comes, South Korea is going to have to walk a tightrope. China and Russia do not want the South Koreans heading north and being the dominant player.
No, they don't.
But who is better suited to bring capitalism, to bring freedom to the north as their fellow countrymen?
Yeah.
That are separated by a phony border.
China also doesn't want several million Korean refugees on their border either.
That's exactly right.
Say, hey, take me in.
And these people are going to want to do that. I mean, imagine to be free. Now, the Chinese don't want that.
No.
They don't want a free North Korea on their border either.
No, they do not.
And what's that? The internet being piped into China? Western ideas? Holy cow. And Russia is... I'm not too concerned about Russia.
I'm not.
I think that Putin has his own agenda in this little area here, and he's like a barking dog. A lot more sound than there is action or threat to us.
Russia's got a very fragile economy. There's so much based on oil. If the oil prices go down, their economy gets shaky. They flex a lot. Putin likes this macho look to him, and
he loves to be photographed with his shirt off. Yeah.
And they're kind of like the guy in the bar that's bragging all the time. He might have a little something, but he doesn't. He's not what he says he is.
And there's always a guy in the bar that can whip his butt.
Yeah.
So he can only yap so much.
Russia's technology, some parts look really great, and then you look down the street and there comes a horse and buggy. It's still mixed.
Do you know, I read a book when I was a kid, and it was a book of photos that came out of Russia of their products. So many of them were just blatant copies of ours.
Oh,
and so much
absolutely.
of them were pure junk.
Yeah.
And the Russians are, they're good military people. They have wonderful tanks.
Yeah.
Their airplanes aren't worth a damn. They crash on a regular basis. But they're not deep thinkers.
No, they're not. Everything is surface with them.
Yep, Slavs.
Yeah.
And they think that Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Poland belong to them because they conquered them once or twice.
That's that mentality from that part of the world.
That's exactly right, yeah. And, well, they're Slavic nations too, and they should normally be with us. And now, China, I think, is the most complex of the problems. They definitely have militaristic ideas. They are building a military, they're building a navy.
Yeah, oh yeah. Their navy is starting to show up. China is, I want to say sneaky, but they're sly.
They're the mysterious
Yeah.
men of Asia, you know.
It was pointed out, well, some were whining around here that in the academia world that the foreign student population is down since Trump got elected. And they pointed out how many students from China is down. China has a way of sending kids here to study, to take what they can learn here and take it back to China.
That's what it's all about.
And you notice the Chinese, when they come here, they're not majoring in art and dance and studio production and stuff. They're majoring in the hard sciences, computer sciences,
MIT stuff.
engineering stuff. And they're using our education system to further there. And we should be concerned that the amount of Chinese in the school is less. We should make it a hell of a lot less.
And not only that, but if they don't return, whoops, there goes your family.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll return. There's no question about that.
So, I mean, these are brutal people.
Yeah, there's no way a kid from here could get into a technical institute in China.
Oh.
That just wouldn't happen.
It'd be about the same as our odds of being in a beauty contest.
Yeah.
Now, our educational system continues to degrade in this country. You know, you watch the mechanizations going on of them picking a head for the Boston public school system.
Oh, my God.
In there.
Well, I was surprised on that one that they actually picked that one from Minnesota. I figured the kid from Boston, the guy from Boston Latin, was a shoo-in, and everybody else did too. He's a Marty's pick, you know.
I don't understand what that was all about, but I think Marty had to pick one of the two women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no question of that, because he does want to be mayor again.
Yeah.
And his chances are getting fewer and fewer and fewer. The president of the Boston City Council is Michelle Wu, I think her name is. Yeah. She might as well have sweatshirts made up saying, I'm Michelle Wu, mayor of Boston.
Your new mayor.
Yeah,
oh,
shake
absolutely.
my hand.
No question about it, Bill. You hit that one right.
Absolutely.
But our educational system, and I'm not sure if it's really as bad as it looks, and it might be. I'm not saying it isn't. But there is a core element in our education system, our secondary education, even in our high school education, but our secondary, our upper level education, there's a group that seems to have, couldn't call them progressives. I don't even know what they are, but they flipped values. They flipped things over. You're now guilty until proven innocent. You're immediately guilty, whether it be sexual harassment or anything else. Boom, you're convicted. That's not a principle that this country is built on.
Yeah.
The idea that, love free speech, my free speech, not your free speech, but mine. If you don't agree with me, we're going to shut you down. And you got not only students, but you've got the academic corps, the professors, and the group stirring this stuff
than the
up.
kids, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And the education system has gone to hell because of stuff like that. They can't handle anything that's not geared up exactly the way we are. Kids used to go to, or young people used to go to college to learn different ideas. You sat down, you learned an opinion over here, an opinion over here, an opinion. Not today. It's one opinion. And if it's not opinion, it's going to be nobody's opinion. And they've become so, I think snowflake is a real good term. They can't handle any adversity today.
You're absolutely right. It's
Look at the fuss they're making now. And I don't know the names, but the Weinstein's attorney is one of the House mentors
at Harvard.
At Harvard. They can't handle that. He's got to be kicked out or
That's right.
hung by his toes, you know.
You
can't possibly represent somebody. Well, they forget he's accused. He's not convicted. And if you took that, every attorney in this country would be guilty of something because they're always defending somebody that's not popular.
Do you know that these people don't seem to quite understand you are entitled to legal representation?
That's right.
All right? And if they can afford someone like Sullivan, then so be it.
That's right.
I mean, this is absolutely absurd. By the way, very interesting statistic. In fact, folks, sit down, put seatbelts on. If you're accused of a crime in Japan and you go to trial, what percentage are found guilty?
I don't know.
99.9. Now, is that unbelievable or what?
I don't know. If you eliminate how many cases get thrown out on technicalities as opposed to actual evidence, our guilty rate's going to be much higher too.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that because I'm not sure whether that's factored in or not.
Okay.
In the Japanese.
The Japanese.
Yeah,
I'm not comparing
I don't
Japanese.
know.
I was
But
just kind of.
all I was saying, the people in the know say, well, yeah, it's always been like that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So if you're ever arrested in Japan, just get on your knees and plead for mercy, I guess.
Yeah.
About the only thing I can tell you. Education again, staying with that for a second longer. There was a very interesting piece in the Globe earlier this week about special education. I don't know whether you saw that or not.
I don't recall it.
What they're basically saying is we're going to change the way we do special ed so that, okay, here's 5 kids in the special education program and they're being put in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, kids, listen up. Here's what we're going to teach you, and they dump it on them. 4 of the 5 probably can't accept it, don't understand it, or whatever, and the 5th is thinking about something else. So what they're saying is we need to work from the bottom up. We need to understand the kids and their problems and their capabilities, and then teach to that. Now, I don't know who paid for this study, and I don't know whether it holds water or not, but it is something that the Globe had an editorial on and said, well, you know what? here's a chance for us because special ed in Massachusetts isn't working. Just simply isn't working.
It's not.
And I'm not sure whether, well, I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. I know the special ed kids run the gamut from kids that need a certain amount of information at a slower pace, certain kids that can't absorb information, and certain kids that don't understand much of anything.
Right.
So you got different layers of kids here. I don't see how one teacher can teach a classroom like that.
Today we tend to dump them all together with the idea that, well, all we've done is dumbing down some of these educational processes.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean that dummy down in a negative.
No,
Say the kid is the process has been dummied down.
The educational level has been degraded because it's like the tide. I mean, it's going out. It's got to find its own level. And when you have kids that have real learning problems and you get super bright kids over here, well, you can't teach to these kids because these kids over here are lost.
That's right.
But if you teach to these kids over here that are lost,
these
kids here dream about being on a spaceship or driving a hot rod or whatever kids dream about. Who knows?
Yeah,
but they lose valuable education time. And you know what happens when kids aren't challenged? They regress.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a mess. And the Boston school system is a perfect example of that.
Exactly.
I mean, some of the classrooms have been described to me by people that survived them as something you'd see in a war-torn country.
Yeah, exactly. The inmates are in charge of the institution in some of these places.
The almost criminal neglect of the elderly in the United States. We've had a 10-year period now since we had the recession in 2008. What happened was interest rates went down to nothing. So the elderly had no place to put their money and earn 5 or 6% like they had been learning.
There was no return on whatever they had invested.
So as a result, so many of the elderly have been spending their savings.
That's right.
To keep afloat. They can't earn. I mean, up until, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I mean, you could get maybe 0.25% interest.
That's
on
exactly
a
what
CD.
like the CDs or money market was paying, but well below 1%.
Right now, in my money market with Fidelity, I'm getting 2.10. Nothing to write home about.
But it has broken too. But I tell people and young people, I said, I'm in my 70s. And 65 years ago, one summer I saved up $100. Oh, hell, I was probably 8 years old then, doing odd jobs and stuff. And I saved everything I had because I wanted that Zebco 33 fishing reel so bad. And it just came out. It was expensive. It was $20 then. That'd been hell today. That thing would have been.
Was that the push button spinning reel? Yeah.
It was silver. And today that thing would have been, in today's dollars, probably $150.
Yeah.
So anyway, to make a long story short, I saved all my money, and I remember getting a passbook savings, and I got 5.5%.
Wow.
That was, 50, 60 years ago?
Yeah.
And today, passbook savings are 1.25, if you get that much.
In 1980 or 81, I had a bunch of money in a CD paying me 17%.
I had a 15%er. So that was great when you had some money.
Yeah.
It was great. It was hell if you had to borrow something, though.
Yeah, that's what mortgages were, 16, 17, 18%. But fixed income investing for elders is an important part of their retirement planning. The government could have cared less.
That's right.
Wiped out the savings of a lot of the elderly. And I'm not talking about the wealthy elderly.
No, we're talking-
I'm talking about mom and pop and
They were workaday people all their life,
that may have 50 or 60,000 bucks in the bank.
tucked away. That's
Yep.
all they got.
And they had to spend that. It wasn't fair. Wasn't fair at all.
We are becoming an older nation, but we don't seem to be recognize the fact that they got value. We still go along. It's youth oriented. Everything is youth.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree with you. And local tax rates. Well, they have no conscience at all.
No,
They
none.
just say, well, okay, the tax rate goes up. Now, somebody, and we know so many of the elderly, you and I.
Yeah.
We see them every day at the different functions
Right.
in town. Single women in their 80s,
Yep.
husband has passed away, and somehow or other they're still hanging on to the home because they want to leave it to their kids.
Yep.
But
Or
they
just have a
can't-
place to live.
Yeah, they just can't afford.
You can't leave.
No, you're locked in.
Yeah.
Who the heck can pay in our age bracket $1,700, $1,800, $1,900 a month for an apartment?
It's not feasible.
No.
Now, some areas, and it's not Massachusetts, that's for sure. Some areas have gone where they have put a cap on real estate taxes for people over 65 years old. You want to raise them up? You want to go, if they had such a thing as 2.5 override, fine, go ahead, but it wouldn't apply to the people over 65 or retired people. You take care of it. You voted for it. Oh. But here they won't do that.
No, they won't. They won't. And also the state taxes too. They're the sales tax. Well, it's the same for the elderly as it is for anybody else.
That's right.
What the heck, And sometimes you get a senior citizen discount. And now people are begrudging the senior citizen discount.
Oh, yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that. They shouldn't have the senior citizen
I know.
discount.
Yeah. And these damn veterans, why are they getting a discount?
Yeah, oh my God, yes.
They get paid to be in the Army.
Yeah, we got rich, didn't we?
Yeah, I became independently wealthy. Rising medical costs, a lack of government-sponsored long-term housing care, covering end-of-life care, nursing home care. That's a thing that knocks out what is left of the seniors' savings.
That's
is
right.
when they have to go in a nursing home and start paying $60,000 a year for 24-hour day care.
Devastating. It takes out every asset you have is gone.
Yep. And then when your money is gone, then they attach the house.
Oh, that's-
and when you finally do pass away, and if the value of your house only covers like half of the bill, they just take the house.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you're lucky and you're owe about half of what your house is worth, they force you to sell the house and pay them.
Oh, yeah, it's ruthless.
We need long-term health care insurance. Now,
Affordable.
it's going to be
That's very
expensive.
it's expensive
Yes.
now.
But you know what, though? You can do it with a deductible and make it a lot more palatable. The elderly are the fastest growing segment of our society, the over 65 crowd, and the most ignored. For shame, America. We are just shunted off to one side. Go over there and sit in the corner, you old goat. That's what my wife tells me. All the
I know,
time.
I heard too.
Yeah. Housing costs and rent cost. I mean, that is some of the housing costs nowadays is the average house in, now I don't think it's the average, I guess it is the average.
Median price.
The median price, yeah, I think it is
That's
the
better.
median
That's
price.
better than the average. 'Cause
Yeah. is so high now that 75% of the people working in this country cannot afford to buy that house.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yesterday's Globe, I was just paging through it. If I read the thing on Sunday, and the real estate section, and what's it called? Homes or residents. And I said to Monica, I am glad we're not looking for a house. I don't know how young people can buy anything anymore. You know, a one-bedroom condo starting at $400,000 to $500,000. Starting at, that's the littlest thing that they've got. Other houses, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000, $1 million plus. They don't bat an eye with $1 million anymore.
There was one in the south end of Boston, not South Boston, the south end. It was a brick, and it was a 3-story, narrow, but a 3-story home.
Yep.
Okay? $3.3 million.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
In the south end.
Mm-hmm. Now, all the country, there are spots that's like this, and we are one of them. California's got another area. Parts of Florida now are becoming that way, and parts of Texas are becoming that way.
Yeah, and also there's some enclaves of that around both Philadelphia and Chicago.
Right.
Yeah. But for the most part, those are the high-rent districts.
Yep.
Also, I think we'll beat that subject to death. The hatred that is destroying the unity and the oneness of our land. No, let me go back. I remember what my thought was.
Okay.
Do you recall after World War II, what did we have? We had VA housing.
Oh, yeah.
And they threw up 2-bedroom ranches.
Yep.
All over the place for veterans.
New York's called Levittown, I think it was.
Levittown, New York, yeah.
It was you people, the older people watching it, you know, but the younger people won't. They built this community basically with the idea of returning vets. And they were basic, sturdy, nice little homes, affordable. And it turned into a whole town called Levittown. I think the guy that conceived it was named Levitt.
Yeah, it was on Long Island.
Yeah, it was actually out on Long Island.
But, folks, there is plenty of land left in the U.S. Okay? You mean to say we can't throw up a couple of 3,000 low-cost homes for certain income people?
Oh, we
to
can.
buy into? All right, but we don't. Because you know why? Because it's a lot more profitable to build a $1.7 million house.
That's right. Yeah.
We have got to look at what's best for all of our citizens and not just wealthy builders. You know what else is the hatred that is destroying the unity and oneness of our land. I really and truly feel the last time this country was united was World War II.
Oh, yeah. That brought everybody together with one single cause. And just about everybody signed on.
Everybody bought into it.
Yeah.
Not everybody was happy, maybe?
No.
But everybody bought into it.
They knew why it was happening and and they did something about it. They tried to help.
That's right. Yeah. And it brought people together. It was a fantastic example of what we can accomplish if we ever had any leadership in this country.
I can't imagine some of the people we've got today putting up with even the World War II restrictions, rationing.
Yeah.
If you had these little ration books and you had to go to the store and you wanted to buy meat, you had to take your little ticket out. You could only buy so much.
I got some at home.
Yeah,
my grandfather's.
I still got some in the drawer that came from my grandparents' fair. Gasoline, tires, anything.
Butter,
yeah.
Couldn't get butter. So you know what you got? You got margarine. You got a bag of it. And inside was a chemical catalyst.
Yeah.
And what you did was you broke it. And then you squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed until you figured your hands and fingers were going to fall off.
Yep.
And then you put it in the ice box and it's set up.
Yep.
That was butter. That was what we had. And you know what? If you had a pig or a beef steer or rabbits, you were able to get meat from time to time. But for the most part, most people didn't. But some people had bunnies, and a lot of people had chickens. I know my grandfather had chickens.
I lived on a farm then, so
Yep.
it's different. Things are a little different then.
Yep. But my grandfather would go hunting. Boy, oh boy, he got a deer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The family ate well.
You hunted for meat in those days.
That's right. And he trapped, and catching a fox that was $14 when you're making $14 a week.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Boy, talk about a big deal. That was a big deal. Yeah. And the little muskrats for $1 a piece. You know, 14 of them was a week's pay.
Yeah, exactly.
Back then, we did what we had to do.
That's
and
right.
we all pulled together.
And you didn't hear complaining and bitching about anything like that in those days?
Nope. Yeah, everybody was in it. And what did we always say too? I was too young, but I heard it enough times. No, we can't have meat. That's for our boys overseas.
Yep.
That's who we were concerned about, our boys. That was when we were all together. Now we're split apart into a bunch, about 85 miserable, stinking groups.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Complain. Yep. We're the luckiest people in the world to be living in this country. And if you pick up the paper, all you get is bitching and complaining. And here's another beauty that's going down the tubes, the right to privacy. You know, Uncle Sam is watching us and listening to us and recording us. Your squawk machine at home now.
We just got put in yesterday.
Yep. That's going to be all recorded.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
My grandkids already put some stuff on there they probably shouldn't have done. Just to be funny, you know.
Stormtroopers will be coming to get
I
them.
guess so. It's kind of scary, though, when you say, Alexa, do this, do this. What's this?
is.
Oh, and she answers you. And,
Yeah.
And she knows all that stuff. And they told us that she gets smarter and smarter as you use it. She learns more about you. She recognized my voice. I got to change that.
Yeah. Really?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, off the subject.
I'm going to become your holiness or your highness. I'm not sure which yet.
the royal.
Yeah.
The royal we.
Monica just rolls her eyes when I say that, you know.
Now, you lost a cat some time ago.
Oh, yeah. About 4 or 5 years ago. And I
All
would
right.
have been
Yeah.
3 years, 4 years, I guess.
I lost Harvey a couple of years ago. That's the last one I had. Do you know, occasionally at night I see shadows in the house?
Oh, I see the last Siamese one. I saw him one night in the hallway.
Yeah. Last night, one of them, I forget which, I mean, we've had like 20 cats during the time we've been married. One of them walked out of the corner of my eye. I was watching TV. There he went across.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Abortion. I've said it before, folks. I'm going to say it again. Safest place in the world for a little baby is in its mother's womb. But in this bloody state, it's the most dangerous place for a baby to be, in its mother's womb. Killing unborn babies.
Did you happen to read that Yvonne Abrams, I think her name is,
Oh, yeah.
yesterday?
I didn't know.
Justifying late-term abortion.
Yeah. The things they do to that near full-term viable baby.
Full-term sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Incredible.
She justified the whole thing. It didn't make any sense. That lady, you know, I'm not fanatic.
Yeah, my husband
one way or
got
the
a
other.
transfer to Seattle, and this isn't going to fit in with our lifestyle. My grandparents lived locally, and they'd be helping me so I could go back to the bank where I'm a vice president. But now with us having to go to Seattle, the baby just doesn't fit in the plan, so bonk. Yeah. Got to be a special hot seat in hell for abortionists. The funding of Social Security and Medicare. You know, we had the Simpson-Bowles report
Yep.
on how to do this, and it was an honest pathway, a bipartisan pathway from two very smart guys.
All we hear about that, they're running out of money. By
Yeah.
2030 or 2025 or 24, whatever, you hear different dates all the time, they're going to be insolvent. They don't have to be insolvent. It's the solutions are simple.
Absolutely. You raise the income level
That's
that they
right.
pay. All right? Social Security is collected up through what, 133,000,
Something like that, yeah.
like that. So up it to $1 million.
Yeah, because the people after that point don't really need it anyway.
That's exactly right.
And they're the ones that get out of paying it.
Yep. I mean, this is silly. And
it's-
up at another percent.
That would make it
I mean,
solvent.
a 0.5%.
And stop raiding it.
And
It's
stop
not a slush
raiding
fund.
it. That's right.
Everybody in the government uses that for a slush fund.
Every senator and rep that's still alive
Yep.
that was involved in voting for raiding the Social Security trust system should be put on trial and face a firing
That's right.
squad. Nothing radical about me.
I'm with you.
Also, you know, one of the other things that we need to be thinking about, and people, forget about the Mueller report. Think about other things. Brexit. Now, Brexit doesn't concern us. That's something going on over in England, and I don't understand it. So just, Ruth, get me another can of beer. I know, Great Britain is going to exit the European Union. Okay, so they're not going to have trading partners.
Not like they have.
That's right, yeah. So the U.S. needs to move in on the Brits and say, hi, we're your new trading partner. Let's hammer out a deal that's great for you and great for us both. Right. And it'll be the best thing that ever happens to the Brits.
Oh yeah, and they're not a threat. They're an ally. They're plus. Everything is plus there.
And they're our ancestors.
Yep.
As much as they try like hell to say, well, the white man, from Northern Europe and Central Europe, he's passé now, and he's a bad guy, and they're dominated long enough, and blah, 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 blah. Those are our natural allies. Creeping socialism, the government control of our lives, which ultimately consumes men's souls and destroys nations. Look at Venezuela, look at Cuba, and look at the EU. I mean, the EU is socialism alive. It's this commonality, all these countries grouped together, and we're all going to interface.
That's partly what drove the UK to look at getting out of it.
Absolutely. It's madness. And I think I have enough faith in the wisdom of the American people to reject socialism, but it scares me sometimes. You hear these kids talking about
the Bernie Sanders scares me.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Warren, she's...
Yeah. I think Elizabeth is... she's got the toughest path of all to getting the nomination because she comes across as a wailing banshee.
Yeah, she gets a lot of good press, particularly from the Globe here in the local state. But you get out of state, and she's considered a joke.
A joke. The use of robocalls has got to be stopped.
Oh, my God, that's so far out of control that it's unbelievable. And that you thought, well, now that you got call waiting or a caller ID, you'd know who's calling. they've hacked that.
They make
Total.
they make up their own numbers.
Yeah. It looks like your neighbor's calling you, and
That's
it's not.
exactly right. Yeah. I got called not too long ago from Vendetti Buick up in Franklin. It was a robocall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's one that I finally come around on. Clean the ocean up around the world now.
Yeah, there's a lot of junk in that.
Man. And you know what? If,
True.
in fact, we continue down the path we're going with the ice melting both on the North Pole and the South Pole, oceans are going to rise. So we are also, though, using up lots of supplies of fresh water. So it could well be that we're going to have large plants desalinizing water.
Yep.
So that's something else we need to look at. That you're not going to build desalinization plants, huge ones, overnight.
No.
Got to be prepared for that. And a return to nuclear power with a wide-ranging enabling bill to enable fast action. Shame on us for panicking from the lies and distortions of a very foolish segment of our population.
We also have to step up our research into fusion.
Alternate supplies, of energy, absolutely.
Because fusion is possible. Theoretically, it's
Yeah,
possible.
theoretically it's possible.
Right now we can do it, but it costs more to do it than what you're getting out the other end.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's like the wind farms and, we're paying an awful lot of money for that electricity. And tap into the hydroelectric supply of our neighbors to the north, Canada. I mean,
right.
there's almost an endless supply of hydroelectric power in Quebec. And they've got dams all over the place and no customers.
Yeah, that's right.
So our inner cities, our war zones, we've got to do something about that. The evil of the drug crisis must be arrested seriously, and the madness on our college campuses. The student union at Berkeley out in California voted the Green Deal at $93 trillion as good and financially sound.
They don't know what that is.
Nope.
They don't understand 93 trillion. And all they know is free this and free that and
That's
free
right.
this.
Exactly.
Hey, give it to me.
Give it to me is right.
I'm not paying for it.
No,
somebody
I want
else is paying
free
for it.
college, free. Free.
Well, you hear this? It's not money.
And
It's
a
just government money.
Minimum income.
Yep. Okay. Wrap up.
Okay, folks. Well, you've listened to us rant and rave successfully, I might add.
We're good ranters.
Once again,
Good ravers.
and
too.
ravers too. So we got through this note to all the supporters, all the people that supported the Mueller report and now are disappointed. So get over it. Look at all the things I told you to be working on. On that note, I think we'll wish them all a very happy.
Watch for the veterans with the poppies.
Watch for the veterans with the
on
poppies.
Memorial Day area.
Yep. And think about digging some worms and going fishing.
There you go.
Folks, have a good one. Take
Take
care.
care. Bye-bye.